I showed up to the wrong field, wrong sport, wrong day, possibly wrong town. There were children already playing there. They were better than me. They are 6. And that was basically my entire relationship with sports in one scene. Me, confused, emotionally overdressed, and being outplayed by children who still lose teeth. I've never been good at sports. I've never stopped having opinions about them, though. And I've spent an unreasonable amount of time trying to figure out why something I'm so bad at still matters so much to me. So, these are my thoughts on sports, all of them, starting from the couch. Because something genuinely strange about sports is this: you don't have to play them to be completely consumed by them. You don't even have to like them that much. Sports have this weird cultural gravity. They pull people in whether they signed up or not. You could live in a cabin in the woods with no internet, and somehow by Thursday, you'd know who won the big game on Sunday. Someone would tell you. A bird would tell you. It would arrive. I think about this more than I should. We are, at some basic level, just monkeys watching other monkeys run fast. I mean that with actual wonder, because why does it work? Watching a stranger put a ball through a hoop makes me feel something. I have no stake in this. I didn't train. I don't know this person. If I met them in a grocery store, I'd have nothing to say. But when they score, something in my chest does a small, involuntary thing, and suddenly I am apparently invested. So clearly something else is happening here. It cannot just be the ball. I've been trying to figure out what that something is. What makes a billion people care about the trajectory of a ball on any given weekend? I don't have a clean answer. I have a lot of thoughts, though, and the best place I've found to think about all of this is, obviously, the couch. Let me be clear about something. The couch is the optimized position. I have a specific cushion, the left side, slightly worn, with a permanent dent that fits exactly the shape my body has become after 15 years of dedicated match watching. That's commitment. That is not laziness. That is training. Watching a tense game is physically demanding. Your heart rate goes up. Apparently, even your hormones get involved, which feels dramatic for someone sitting beside a bowl of chips. Your body doesn't fully know you're on a couch. You flinch on a near miss. You lean forward on a breakaway. You make a noise, an involuntary, guttural noise you would never make in polite company. When the ref makes a call you disagree with. Honestly, at that point, what am I missing? Cleats? Grass? A medical waiver? None of this requires shin guards. My couch has seen more sports than most rec league players ever will. I've put in the hours. I've done the reps. The reps are sitting and feeling things intensely, and I've gotten very good at them. The left cushion knows. It's been there for all of it. Occasionally, though, the couch isn't enough. Some terrible instinct kicks in. Something you watched looks achievable, and a voice in your head says, "Go play." That voice is a liar. You listen anyway. It always starts the same way. You watch a YouTube hype video at midnight. The music swells, the slow motion kicks in. Someone does something impossible and makes it look like a casual afternoon activity. And your brain, your traitorous, optimistic brain says, "I could do that." You could not do that, but by then you've already ordered the equipment. You've already told someone you're getting back into it. You're doing layup drills in your kitchen at 11 p.m., narrowly missing the ceiling fan, telling yourself this is the beginning of something. The gap between watching sports and playing sports is enormous. The pros make it look easy because it is easy for them. They've been doing it since they were 4. Their bodies were selected by genetics and then refined by thousands of hours of practice. You have been selected by a couch cushion and refined by screen time. I tried everything one summer. Basketball, knee gave out. Tennis, arm gave out. Swimming, dignity gave out. Badminton, shuttlecock, wind, fence, neighbor. That last one still comes up at block parties. The body has opinions, strong ones. Every single time, the message was identical. We don't do this anymore. We maybe never did this. Please stop. I did not stop. I tried volleyball. I tried frisbee golf, which I maintain is a made-up sport, and which I also lost at. I tried jogging, the sport of people who've given up on all other sports. The humiliation, though? I've been carrying versions of it since I was 9 years old, and honestly, most people have one of those memories, too. Most people have at least one gym class memory they would delete if childhood came with settings. Some memories are bad in a quiet way. Being picked last, standing in right field, hoping the ball never comes, learning that the phrase, "just have fun," is a lie adults tell children before throwing them into competitive environments. Other memories are bad in a loud way. Dodgeball, objects hurled at your face at speed. The lesson is supposedly character. I'm not sure what character I built from getting hit in the ear with a rubber ball by a kid named Tyler, but it stuck with me, so maybe Tyler was right. Team picking ritual is one of the most psychologically loaded things we do to children. Two captains, a line of kids, the slow public sorting. The last kid picked is not thinking about sportsmanship. They're thinking, cool, so everyone saw that. What makes it complicated, though, is that the same system that quietly crushed some kids lit a fire under others. Some kid got picked first and felt that, and something flipped. They found out they were good at something physical, and it shaped the rest of their childhood. I'm fast. I'm strong. My body can do a thing. That's a big discovery when you're 9. Same gym, same dodgeball. Completely different childhood depending on which end of the ball you were on. And those kids who were ignited, they grew up and became fans. Passionate, irrational, completely unhinged fans. Something I find fascinating about professional sports. Players shake hands after games. They hug sometimes. They swap jerseys. The competition ends and the humans come back. Fans hold grudges for decades. I know people, reasonable, functional adults with mortgages, who will not speak to their brother-in-law because of something that happened in a 2014 playoff game. The players from that game have long since retired. Some of them are friends now. They play golf together. Meanwhile, Dave and his brother-in-law still can't share a Thanksgiving table. Then there's the we problem. Fans say, we won from a pub. We did not win. We ate nachos and yelled at a screen. It doesn't feel that way, though. Somehow, after enough years of watching, we starts to feel legal. It isn't. But emotionally, the paperwork is there. Trash talk is another thing entirely. Trash talk between friends is bonding disguised as aggression. You don't mock someone's team if you don't care about them. The insult is the intimacy, which is weird but true. And the group chat during a live game, you know exactly the people I mean. There's the all caps reactor. Oh my God, did you see that? Every 30 seconds. Then there's the one providing historical context nobody asked for. This is actually similar to the 1987 conference finals when, and then, there's the person who's 3 minutes behind on a stream and hasn't been told yet. Every notification is a potential spoiler. Nobody leaves the chat. All this passion, all this investment in something you can't control hurts most when you lose. Losing, it turns out, might be the whole point. We remember losses more vividly than wins. Or at least, we tell better stories about them. Nobody tells a story that starts with everything going perfectly. We were ahead the whole game and then won by a comfortable margin. That's a fact, not a story. We were up by 12, then the other team scored 3 times in 4 minutes, and the goalkeeper slipped on wet grass, and I watched through my fingers in a pub in absolute silence while a stranger next to me grabbed my arm. That's a memory you carry for 20 years. Trophies are furniture. You put them on a shelf and forget which year. But losses? Losses are stories. They have texture. They have the specific moment where it all went wrong and you replay it for months, trying to identify where the universe made its error. I think that's why we love underdogs. We don't root for the underdog because we think they'll win. We root for them because the favorite winning is just what was supposed to happen. The underdog losing. That has scenes. That has music. That has someone staring into the distance. And the underdog winning? That's the rarest, most satisfying story in sports, because every part of it was unlikely. Losing builds character, by the way. I know that sounds like something you put on a poster in a high school hallway next to a stock photo of a sunset. I'm not entirely sure why it works, but it does. The person who keeps showing up to their rec league, the one who hasn't won in 3 seasons, whose team is mostly people who were free on Tuesdays. That person has something a lot of champions don't. They love the thing more than they need the result. Of course, none of this nuance makes it into the commentary, because the commentary has other priorities. The anatomy of a sports broadcast is kind of remarkable when you actually pay attention. There's the play-by-play person who describes things you can see. There's the color commentator who explains why the thing you just saw happened. And then there's the sideline reporter who is standing in the rain to tell you that it is raining. Every broadcast, without fail. Someone standing in weather, confirming weather, and the phrases. The beautiful, hollow, infinitely recyclable phrases. He really wants it. As opposed to going out there hoping to lose, it's a game of 2 halves. Mathematically, yes. All games are games of 2 halves. That is what halves mean. They're giving 110%, which, to be clear, violates how percentages work. These phrases mean nothing. They will be used tomorrow with full confidence. Sports commentary is the only genre where repeating a player's name with increasing volume counts as analysis. Rodriguez, Rodriguez, Rodriguez. 3 times, different pitch. That's the whole breakdown, apparently. Even better is watching a sport you don't understand with commentary that assumes you do. I once watched an entire cricket match, and at the end I knew exactly 2 things. The players were wearing white, and they stopped for tea, actually for tea, which I respect enormously. While the commentators are yelling, though, there are people at the edges of every game who nobody is yelling about. Honestly, those people are more interesting than the stars. The most fascinating people in sports are the ones the camera ignores. Take the bench warmer. Fully suited up, emotionally invested, physically present, statistically absent. They've done every drill, attended every practice, put on the same uniform, and they sit 3 feet from the action, watching someone else do the thing they trained to do. That inner life is a whole novel nobody's writing. I would read that novel. I'd read it before I'd read the star player's autobiography, which is ghost-written and tells me nothing I didn't already know from the press conference. Then there's the ball boy, running at full speed, occasionally getting hit by something moving faster, trying to look professional at age 12, a job that's mostly invisible until the exact moment it goes wrong, at which point it becomes the most watched clip of the week. That's a brutal contract for a 12-year-old. And the snack runner, the person who waits for the ad break, sprints to the fridge, grabs whatever's available, and misjudges the ad break length by exactly 15 seconds. They come back to screaming. Missed what? Nobody will tell them. The room holds it back for another 3 minutes out of sheer punishment. That person sprinting to the fridge and back, heart racing over whether they'll miss the restart, is living on the edge. Pure, domestic adrenaline. I think the pros sometimes envy amateur passion, honestly. When you do something for a living, it becomes work. The professional athlete manages performance, while the amateur just loves the thing. Love of the game only gets you so far, though, because then the rules show up and ruin your confidence. Join our YouTube membership for exclusive perks like early access to scripts, input on future topics about productivity, and connect with a like-minded community that gets it. Click join below and let's build your easier, more intentional life together. Let me explain the offside rule. So when the ball is played forward, the attacking player has to have at least 2 defenders between them and the goal the moment the ball is kicked, not received, and the defenders include the goalkeeper usually, so really it's 1 outfield player, and the attacker can't be... Look, the point is, the attacker can't be past a certain point when the ball is played, unless they're in their own half or the ball goes backwards or... Yeah, that's how every offside explanation goes. You start with confidence and end with a vague hand gesture and the phrase, "You know what I mean." Multiply that by every rule in every sport. The infield fly rule in baseball. The entirety of cricket's LBW law. Whatever is happening in American football, when they throw a yellow napkin on the ground, and everyone stands around for 4 minutes, and the referees. A referee only exists in anyone's mind when they get it wrong. Nobody leaves a game saying, "What a beautifully officiated match." One bad call, though, one bad call shifts your view of the whole game, the score, the sport, the institution. Your faith in organized human activity, all of it, gone. Then there's VAR, Video Assistant Referee, technology that was supposed to end controversial calls forever. What it actually created was a new kind of controversy. Higher resolution, longer delays, and now everyone argues about whether the line was drawn from the correct part of the armpit. We took a human problem, applied technology, and got the same problem with more pixels and a longer wait. A pretty good summary of most technology, honestly. And when the rules can't help you, the rituals arrive. They won't save you, but that has never stopped anyone. The lucky jersey, the specific seat, the specific food, and it has to be that food from that place. A similar food from a different place does not count. The route you drive to the stadium, the song you play in the car, the order you put on your shoes, the person you text before kickoff, the thing you absolutely cannot say out loud because saying it will jinx it. Every sports fan has rituals. A shocking number of us genuinely believe they affect the outcome. And honestly, I respect the delusion. From the sofa through the power of a specific hat, I find this beautiful and insane in equal measure. My own pre-game ritual has a worse losing record than most professional teams. It doesn't work. It has never worked. I have data. The data is clear. I do it anyway, every time, without fail. Because the one time I don't do it, my team will lose, and I will know, with absolute certainty, that it was my fault. There are three things I will not name in this video: the team, the jersey, the food, for reasons that should be obvious. If I say them in a video that people watch, the ritual is contaminated. The power disperses. I'm describing this superstition to you while actively performing it. I'm aware of the contradiction. The ritual continues. When the rituals fail and the losses pile up, and the commentary is yelling and the ref made the wrong call, that's when I retreat to the one sports arena where I always win. In animation, everything is fixable. That loss last weekend? In my stick figure version, we won, comfortably. The goalkeeper didn't slip. The ball curved the right way. The physics were correct because I drew the physics, and my physics are generous. In my stick figure league, everyone ties. That's the entire philosophy. No losers, no drama. Just small round heads crossing a finish line at exactly the same moment, forever. Slow motion replays in real sports expose bad form. They catch the awkward arm angle, the ugly landing, the face you make mid-effort that should never be seen by other humans. In animation, you simply don't include that frame. Editorial judgment. I've been drawing sports disasters and fixing them for years. You take the real moment, the fumble, the miss, the trip over your own feet, and you animate a version where the feet don't trip, where the ball goes in, where the crowd goes wild. And the crowd is also stick figures, and they're all doing the wave. And the wave is perfect because I drew it that way. Stick figure me has better footwork, better reflexes, and significantly better cardio than real me. Stick figure me beat the treadmill. The real treadmill wins in real life, every time without exception. In animation, though, the treadmill is defeated, and I think that counts. Even in the imaginary leagues and the animated replays, though, there's something the real thing has that you can't quite fake. You know the sound, the groan that goes through an entire stadium when a chance is missed? Thousands of people, one sound, one feeling. Nobody organized it. Nobody counted down from 3. It just happens because everyone felt the same thing at the same millisecond. And the collective exhale is involuntary and identical. Well, that sound is honestly one of the stranger, better things humans do. I noticed it last month at a bar during a random Tuesday match. You sit with strangers. You react to the same events. You suffer with strangers for 2 hours, nod at them afterward, and somehow that counts as bonding. Honestly, it kind of does. Sports give you permission to feel things publicly, loudly, with complete strangers, about something that doesn't matter in any professional or practical sense. And most of us don't get that anywhere else. Cheering alone at home is peak comfort zone and peak vulnerability, both at the same time. You're yelling at a screen. Nobody can hear you. Nobody is judging you. And also, nobody is sharing it with you. Your team won and you felt it alone in your living room, and you texted someone about it and they replied, "Nice." And that was the whole celebration. Remember that groan from the stadium, though. Remember the strangers who felt the same thing at the same second? Adults don't get many chances to care loudly about something with no professional justification. That is what sports give us. Permission to care about something that doesn't pay your rent, doesn't advance your career, doesn't make logical sense. You just care, and so does everyone else, and for a few hours, that's enough. That, I think, is what I've been trying to figure out this whole time. I'm still in the wrong field. I never really left it. I've been standing in the wrong field with the wrong equipment and the wrong expectations for my entire life. And at some point, I stopped trying to find the right one. The 6-year-olds are still better at this than I am. They always will be. Turns out, they're delighted to have an audience. They don't care that I'm bad at it. They don't care that I don't know the rules. They want someone to watch them do the thing, and I want to watch someone do the thing, and that contract works perfectly. Maybe that's why I like drawing sports so much. Sports already feel like a place where everyone is trying to redraw themselves anyway. You sketch out who you want to be. You get the physics wrong. You draw the victory anyway. And then you show up next weekend and do the whole thing again, knowing full well that the field is wrong and the body has opinions and the ritual doesn't work. The ref didn't see it. Maybe that's all sports are. Monkeys watching faster monkeys. And somehow I'm still in. And hey, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, let me know your thoughts on what I just shared. Oh, and there's more. I've just started a Patreon to help support these videos and connect with you more directly. Check out the link in the description if you'd like to join.